everyone, this is Coach Lindsey
and Coach Rice.
We're teaming up today to do a cross-curricular study on a variety of things in downtown Calhoun.
Yeah, we're looking at the ways of how our different courses can line up, specifically looking at issues, how topics in town include economic, social, political, and environmental factors and how they all blend together.
So join us and we're going to explore and learn a lot of things today. So once again, we're looking at the Roland Hayes marker, and the state of Georgia likes to take the time to recognize individuals from all diverse backgrounds and the many accomplishments in which they have made. It has a major influence on a variety of factors, such as
we look at the political aspect that our government took the opportunity to recognize people like Roland Hayes and others by using public funds in order to create these aspects. We also can look at the economic aspect of it, using public money to pay for markers like this. And then certainly we look at the environmental aspect of it, trying to find a site and a location to do this. Obviously you have to modify the earth in order to build a marker like this. So little things like this can tie in all aspects.
So our first stop today is at the Roland Hayes marker here on the corner of the campus at Calhoun High School and Calhoun Middle School. Roland Hayes was a very influential figure in Gordon County. He was born out in Kerrville, which is right down the road on the edge of the county, and he really changed things for a variety of people and was a big playmaker in the music industry.
Roland Hayes, to kind of put it into perspective, he was kind of like the Jackie Robinson when it comes to music in that aspect. Roland Hayes performed all over the world, opening up the door for classical music for African American singers. Very much in a similar way of how Jackie Robinson opened up the door for professional athletes to become more diverse like they are today. Think about it in this concept. Yesterday, if Major League Baseball would have been playing, would have been Jackie Robinson Day. He is the one player in Major League Baseball that's had his number 42 retired by all teams. Roland Hayes is very much the same way. We want to celebrate him and his accomplishments and how he opened the door for other people. And so that's why we have sites like this to remember great people that came from our area.
Hey everyone, we're on our next stop here at the Calhoun Depot, and we wanted to stop and look at a few factors that are at play and have been at play for over 150 years. Have you ever stopped and thought, why Calhoun? Why did Gordon County choose Calhoun as the county seat? Well, if you look back to 1851 and then 1852, the year in which Calhoun was incorporated, the state of Georgia and legislators chose this area due to the fact that the railroad runs through, and the Western Atlantic Railroad specifically had its headquarters right down the road in Adairsville, Georgia. This ties in directly to an 8th grade standard into which we talk about the importance of transportation and the transportation systems in Georgia, specifically the railroad.
Yeah, and it builds off that aspect, and this is directly a human geography standard as well when we're looking through this aspect. The railroad was the life force in the 19th century. People got from place to place using the railroad. Commodities, items were shipped from place to place using the railroad. And cities that had access to the railroad had an economic advantage and a political advantage over other areas. If you want to kind of compare it to today, think about the interstate. Calhoun is still been a growing, thriving community where some of the areas around us are not growing as much socially and economically because they don't have access to the interstate. But because the interstate runs right through Calhoun and Gordon County, we've seen continual growth in this area. So when you're thinking about these concepts, try to compare them together. Think about how important the interstate is in the 21st century, and the railroad was that for the 19th century.
Hey everyone, so we're on our next stop in our tour today. We're stopping at the Sequoia Monument in downtown Calhoun at the library. Sequoia was a very influential figure in Gordon County history. Prior to European settlement, Calhoun was the land of the Cherokee, with the most recent capital being at Newachota, and Sequoia was responsible for creating the alphabet, the Cherokee alphabet, that brought together the Cherokee people and led to the creation of the Cherokee Phoenix, which was their first official newspaper and was actually published here in Gordon County at Newachota.
And this serves as a background for a lot of the history of the area, but also of the Cherokee Nation as well, when the Cherokee Nation sued for their sovereignty with the U.S. court system. One of the big elements of that was proving not only did they have a group of people, they had a defined boundary, they had a government, all of the aspects of a state, but they also had a cultural component with it, with a formalized written language, and Sequoia was able to help start the process for that. Hey everyone, next segment here. As you can tell, we're a little bit more sweaty. Whenever you do an activity with Coach Lindsey, you don't drive to places, you run or walk to those places. So we had a little run from downtown over here on Peter Street. One of the things I want to talk to you about just really quickly is one of our human geography concepts and vocabulary words of toponyms. A toponym is the name of a place. And sometimes we just take for granted things have certain names. But if you ever wondered why the road right out here is called Peter Street, the reason for that is it was named after Richard Peters. Richard Peters was a very influential figure here in Gordon County and in Calhoun, who owned a vast tract of land throughout this part of town.
Hey everyone, we're on the corner again, just off of Peter Street, and we wanted to take the time to talk about the impact that community involvement has on your community in which you live. On the way over here from downtown, we had the opportunity to run on a sidewalk, and that was made possible due to the fact that citizens were involved and made a push together to build sidewalks. You as a student and you as an individual in a community, you had the power to look in your community, examine areas of need, and vote and be involved to make changes. An excellent example of this is the recent trail at the Wreck and the developments in the future of the Ridges to Rail Trail. We look forward to these new things. We look forward to seeing you become involved in our community as well. Hey everyone, so thanks for joining us today on our field trip, virtual field trip number 5. We've had a great time with our co-star, Matt Rice, or Coach Rice, as many of you know him. But we want to have one more point of emphasis. Today we really want to emphasize the fact that we need to support local.
Yeah, we've got a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs down here that really make our towns great, and we want to give back to them all the time, but particularly in this time of the year.
So we're going to do that here in a second and enjoy a coffee from the Calhoun Coffee Company. But remember, we are Calhoun.